Good night, everyone. So today we had our lesson on finishing up linking verbs and helping verbs, and then we went right into objects, direct object, indirect object, and then in one point of the lesson I mentioned the order of words in a sentence, which is the subject, verb, and the object. And one student asked if it was okay for the pattern to change, and I thought that was a very good question because when we change patterns in the patterns that we are used to in the English language, which this one, the subject, verb, and object, is called the natural word order. So when we begin to change that order, we move from the the pattern that we have been accustomed to our whole lives, speaking and learning English, into what I would say the realm of literature, because usually this language where we don't follow this set pattern all the time is we would find that in works of literature, especially poetry, not really when we speak. Now we have, although this is not really in the syllabus, it is something that is very interesting, especially if you're someone who likes writing and maybe wants to study English in the future and write. So we have, first of all, what we call the natural word order, which is the one I've been mentioning, the subject, the verb, and the object. Now just keep in mind that sentences don't always need to have the object. Sometimes it's just the subject and the verb and it's correct. For example, she ran. We have she as the subject, ran as the verb, and we don't have any object. But it's still correct and it's still the natural word order. So we have the natural word order, the S, the V, the O. And we also have what we call the inverted word order, which is exactly what it sounds like. Inversion means to change. So it just means that this does not follow the natural pattern that we are used to, but rather a different pattern. For example, verb, then the subject, then the object, or a different one. So for this type of pattern, we would not begin with the subject of the sentence, but rather the verb, and then go to the subject and then to the object. So there is not only one pattern in the English language, but there are several kinds of patterns that are considered to be grammatically correct, even though they sound a bit out of place when it is read out of context. Like, for example, I can give you examples right now, and you might think it sounds strange because right now I am in no setting to explain how this pattern fits into a larger picture of literature. But I will send you an example with all these notes that I have here. And it may be hard for you to follow at first because you are not really looking at it. I'm just explaining it. But that will be uploaded on Schoology just in case you are interested. So we have different kinds of inverted patterns. And I have the BSO, which is the verb, the subject, the object. And I also have the OSV, which is the object, the subject, the verb. And then I have the OVS, which is the object, the verb, and the subject. So those are the word order formulas. If you are good in math, then you will remember all this. And right now I will show you the examples that I have, the examples that I found on the internet for you, and you decide whether that sounds weird or not.